What the deal? This your man King the Wiz Allah coming to you on this knowledge wisdom day of January, which adds up in supreme mathematics is understanding. Knowledge plus wisdom is understanding. That's 1 plus 2 equals 3. Knowledge is 1, wisdom is 2, 3 is understanding. So I'm going to strive, and understanding means having a clear mental picture of something, of what it is you're trying to understand, what you're trying to learn, what you have learned. You must clearly understand it, right? And so this is almost like a continuation. I'm going to talk about my work ethic. I'm going to talk about gaslighting, and I'm going to update y'all on, the great liar. That's what I call my father nephew, the great liar, right? But people wanted to, know about them jobs I was talking about in the last video, and what was my work experience, right? And so I'm gonna talk about work ethic and some other things, right? I've been working a long time. My grandparents and my mother raised me to work. They raised me to work to earn my way through life, earn and pay my own way through life. I wasn't raised spoiled. If I wanted some toys or clothes, I would call my grandpa. I would have to do work. I would have to do some real work. And then, my grandmother taught me to save. She would pay me in checks. And, and so as a teenager, as a 12, 13-year-old teenager, you could have a savings account, but you couldn't have a checking account. So I would go to MBD and put my money in the bank. And, I would have a savings book, and I would look at that like I'm, thinking of a checkbook. So I always been familiar with banking, and I had a withdrawal card, at 16, 15, 14 years old, a ATM savings withdrawal card, right? So I could take my money out. And so I banked with MBD for a long time. And so my work ethic, while I don't have sympathy for, people that I grew up with that don't work. When I was 15, I was in high school, my mother made me get a job. And she made me get a job at Burger King. Now, Burger King is a franchise. You could franchise, you could own a Burger King, right? Like you own a McDonald's, own a Subway. And so it was a black businessman from Detroit named Brady Keys. And, he owned a group of Burger Kings, and, it was Keys Group Burger King. So I worked, and so I went to orientation somewhere, and they, watched videos on and they gave you uniform, and, and they told you what was expected of you. And I worked at the Burger King on Joy Road in Greenfield, right? It's a White Castle now, I think. But I worked up there. I'm gonna say about 2-3 months, if that, right? I didn't stay long. I just got a job at Burger King, right? And I was 15. And Michigan law is you got to be 16 to drive, right? 15 with a permit and somebody in the car, but 16 to drive legally by yourself, right? And so I had a permit. I went to driver's education, through high school, right? And And so my mother had a caravan, and, you know, one day she was like, you know, I said, I got to go to work. And she said, well, you can drive yourself. Now, you know, that was I would pass my grandparents' neighborhood getting there. So she was like, you know, you got to drive yourself. So I'm 15 driving to work by myself. So I went there. I'm probably part-time. I would mop the floor, and I would put frozen beef patties on the grill, right? You know, that's what I did at Burger King for about 2-3 months. About 2 months, I think. You know, I didn't do no fries. I just did put meat on the flame broiler. Just, you know, it was like an assembly belt. And so I did that for 2 months at 15 years old, right? Don't remember how my checks was looking. I don't remember nothing about the money, but I remember me driving my mother's car to work, right? So this began, or before that began my you know, learning to work, right? And so that was like, you know, that was the only job I had in high school, was that, for about 2 months. But I would do work for my grandparents, and I would cut the grass around the house and things like that. And my mother would give me a little bit of money. But I would clean the whole house I would clean my grandparents' whole house, cut the grass, and, you know, polish the silver, wash the baseboards, wash the walls, wash the windows, you know. And it was tedious work. It was vacuum. It was, you know, real work. The whole house, you know, before I got a check, you know. And so, you know, my grandmother would tell me to save, you know, some of your money. So I save, you know, a percentage of your money. So this is why I learned saving and working. So I was never given anything. If I wanted it, you know, I had to work for it, right? So, you know, this instilled in me, you know, the willingness and understanding that a person must work to get the things, or work and get money to get the things that they want and need, right? And so, you know, so I had that job. So I went away to college, and I was broke at Tuskegee freshman year. I didn't like it. So I come home and I got a job, and, you know, I made a little money. I started hustling. And then, so, you know, like I was saying, I found some jobs because I had to work because of the little trouble I got into. And so I had to work to, you know, stay out of trouble, you know, and, you know, with the eyes of the court. And so I was finding jobs down in Wayne State. And one of the jobs I found was at Meyer out on Coolidge Road and 13 Mile, right? And so I would take the bus out there, right? I would take the bus and walk the rest of the way, right? And now I was in college living on my own in an apartment, right? But I worked in a bottle department. It wasn't nothing major. It was every other day, something like that. And I would get discount on groceries. I would grocery shop and bring the groceries back to my apartment. I was feeding myself, right? And you know, I didn't last long on that job. I lasted about 2-3 months on that job. And what happened was, you know, Meyer back then required you to take a 30-minute lunch break. And so, so you had to punch out, right? And I was 21 years old. It was like 93, right? Yeah, this 93. And so you had to punch out for lunch and punch back in. And so, you know, so one day I didn't take a lunch, and I noticed my check, you know, had an increase. That's because, you know, I didn't punch out. So I stopped punching out for lunch, and I would just work through lunch. It wasn't but 30 minutes, and I'm back. I'm back there sorting bottles. right? And so the manager come back there and say, hey, Lewis, you got to take a lunch break. You know, you got to start back taking. I say, what for, man? My check good, that money, it ain't nothing but 30 minutes. Why you ain't got a trip? And so I was like, man, I don't think I should. I was like, that's some bull, right? You know, y'all ain't got to be that strict about lunch, right? Y'all ain't got to be strict about 30 minutes, right? And so I didn't get real irate or rude. I was like, no, nigga, right? You know, white guy, and you know, he was like, well, you know, what you want to do? You know, you want to resign or you want us to fire you? Pick one. But whatever it is, you got to take a lunch break. I said, I'd quit then. So I quit, walked off, went, hung up my vest, punched out, and, you know, that day I drove my mother's car, and I, you know, drove on, went on home. So that ain't last long, right? And then I found another job. You know, that was that UPS job I was telling y'all about. Found that, I think I found that one second or first, maybe second after I lost the Meyer job. I found the UPS job, and that was some call-in stuff. And then I found a job at First of America Bank, in a Royal Oak, and that was night shift, and I was a sorter machine operator. I mean, I would sort all the bank documents, all the checks that come in through what you call vectors, and that's regions of the state of Michigan. And so checks would come in this bank, and you know where they supposed to go, what bank they supposed to go to. This big old machine, about 30 feet, 40 feet long, with a computer program. You know, put all the documents in there, and it'll sort them, right? And you tray them, you put them on, and somebody else will bag them up and ship them out. You know, later I found that's the end job of that is a carrier job. I discovered about 20 years later that carriers, independent people with cars, take these, take the documents to places, right? I was like, wow, I used to sort this, right? But I never got that carrier job. I ain't had no auto insurance at the time. I needed some auto insurance, stuff like that. So, and I didn't want to drive my Tahoe or nothing like that because niggas was hating and shit. So, but I got injured on that job. I sprained my lumbar. I sprained my lower back. And, this 94, and I was working, and so I was working there full time from midnight, from 8 at night to 6 at night to 6 in the morning. I was doing 8 hours at night on that job. And then I would take my mother's car in the morning, and then she go to work, and she'd take me back to my apartment. And then I was supposed to go to class because I was going to Wayne State full time. That means I was taking 12, 14 credit hours. And on the weekend, I had another job, silk screening shirts. And so when I got hurt, they said, well, you can sit down and do some work for us. It ain't a big thing. I said, that's all right. So, I quit that job, you know what I'm saying? And just, cause it was burning me out. I was side hustling. I was making my own shirts, slanging a little bit, rapping in the studio, going to school full time, working full time, and had a full time job. And it's all 1994, right? So my hair dry. So, I was doing all, and so I got burnt out in 1994, man. I got burnt out. And, and plus I had, snake haters on me. Haters really, really not my friends. They was on me. So, but, man, and so that's why I had no sympathy for people that don't work and that say they a man, they want to be the man, but they just too proud and too unskilled. They unskilled, low educated, and and in the real world, to get on with anybody, you got to have a certain level of communication and knowledge skills, right? And these dudes claiming they're the man, really don't have these skills, man. So I don't get up and go to work for the man to take care of grown men that's jealous and hate. That's ridiculous. That's people not living in reality, man. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, you got to have a good work ethic. You got to understand that, you got to have money to take care of yourself and all the essential, things you need. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And I just want to say that, we got to, far as getting an education, right? Listen to Neely Fuller again. He was talking about education. It's still white supremacy that gave education, and you gonna, leave school and go work for a white person, right? And that's white supremacy. They teach you to work for them. And I've heard somebody express that before, like, you just go to school for other people, but you got to change your mission, your goal. As when you get an education, you got to come out knowing how to build and work and start a company for yourself. The Nation of Islam, and I don't like promoting them, but I got to give them their credit. They got a Nation of Islam University, and they got a curriculum program booklet that's online somewhere, and in it, they teach that a person that go through at least 2 to 4 years of education, when they graduate, should be able to run their own business, hang their own shingle, start their own business, build their own business. And so, these colleges, universities ain't doing that, but you got to take somewhere independently or through their school entrepreneurship, so you'll know how to use your core curriculum to benefit you and start your own business in the industry that you want to go into. If not, we always going to be working for other people. You see? And so you got to change your goal, your aim, your mission from graduating, getting a job, to graduating, starting your own black business. It's imperative for the liberation and freedom of black people all over the world, even in Africa. So, man, that's, most definitely you should strive to get an education. All the knowledge you can get, you should strive to get. But when you get it, you got to use it to build and start your own, and then help others build and start their own. This is how you create a network of successful entrepreneur black people. So that's all I'm saying, man. And then, man, I got to talk about some haters, man. Haters they think, and this is, relatives. I got relatives, and my mother and father included now. And, I come to learn a term, gaslighting, right? Gaslighting is when a person make you think something is wrong with you. And so I've been working hard and trying to build and grow and develop, and my parents think something wrong with me And some of my relatives think something wrong with me because I don't associate with them no more. You know, and the thing is, they could call me like they expect me to call them. And it ain't about a call. I just don't fuck with them no more. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with them no more. It ain't nothing wrong with me. You know, I mean, I grow. You know, just because I don't see fit to come to your house and listen to whatever, don't mean something wrong with me. You know, and I done told my mother and father, you know, they need therapy. You know, and so do both sides of their people. You know, my mother people need therapy, and my father people need therapy, and they be trying to gaslight me, think something wrong with me because they need something from me, and I'm not into taking care of grown people. Really, I'm not. You know, you gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? You can be a sandwich artist, deliver pizza, drive a Uber, drive a Lyft, wash some cars. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's things you could do. You know, just to keep some money in your pocket. You know, you can work part-time. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Home Depot, stay hiring part-time, full-time, on call. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, this is the options that you have working for somebody when you're not skilled. Skilled in education, some core curriculum, skilled with natural ability, skilled with, knowing how to talk to people. You know, this is the options is working for somebody and making other people rich on a lower level when you don't have them skills. You know, when you don't know how to build and you don't know how to communicate to get to know how to build. That is, that's a very low skilled person. And so your job choices or how to make money is going to be limited because you don't know how to build, because you filled with pride that can't nobody tell you nothing. And so, I don't have to argue with you. See what I'm saying? I don't have to argue with you. Right? So, yeah, man, they be gaslighting. And then somebody wanted to update on what happened about that dude, how to show and prove a liar. Well, that's my father nephew. That's his sister's son. He going on, I think he like 57, 58 years old, right? Maybe, damn, he like 57. Could be, he 57, 58, right? And I told people he was a liar. He was lying to my father and everything. But an update on him is, he's still waiting for the money. He don't work. I'm in a photo booth. Right? Look like a photo booth on it. He don't work. Like, I heard he got put out. Well, he wasn't home and his mother put him out. He can't come back. Man, he don't have, man. And, he told our uncle that he was driving a truck with produce and stuff, and, he don't even have a valid driver's license. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, that dude, he lying. And so his mother, I guess we all fed up with him, and, she done set him free. He act like he's still incarcerated. He's a free man. He could go anywhere he want to go. But, you know, he choose to kick it around the D and, you know, run around with women on welfare. And so he homeless. You know, he living with some woman. And when she get tired of him, find out he a liar, and his mama don't take him back, and his kids don't want him, he on the street. You know, he lacks understanding. He ain't learned. He was spoiled by his mother. And so now she gotta, you know, if you don't repair, if you don't correct a boy, you know, you have a broken man. So, you know, he's a broken man. You know, like I heard she did something with his clothes. He was living with somebody with the clothes he has on his back. Right. Now this is what I heard. And this is my father's nephew, so I don't know what he could be. I don't know, but you know, he done got no lawsuit money, man. That's all a lie. So much so, I wish somebody would have called my aunt and told her what I said in that video. You see? So, you know, yeah, man, it's, you know, he ain't doing nothing. And my uncle called me the other day. I think he was just trying to figure out what was Tony doing. And I say, I don't know. And, you know, and they don't ask the questions, right? Like he told my uncle he working, he driving big trucks out in Oklahoma and shit, delivering produce. But why didn't you ask him what happened to the lawsuit, and don't you supposed to get your own truck? And why don't question the dude like that? What I don't understand. And then didn't want to play me, right? That's what I ain't lying to you. I ain't got to lie to you. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, man, I don't know what he do, man. I don't mess with that dude, man. So that's it, man. I'm out. Peace.